Welcome to this session. Some very unusual and very threatening events occurred to us early in February. We're recording this right at the end of February, so it's about 4 weeks ago. Right around February 3rd, the previous few days you'd had difficulty sleeping. February 3rd, you got out of bed and started vomiting.
No.
No?
No. It happened in the night. The
Tell
night
me.
of February 3rd.
Tell us what happened.
Well, looking back at how this incident happened was that for a couple of days I had not been drinking a lot of water, and I'm used to drinking a lot of water to flush out my system. You were installing a reverse-osmosis filter, so we didn't have access to water from the faucet. I hate the drinking water here in Charleston, and really we hadn't thought about buying water at Earth Fair, or getting bottled water. And I was drinking tea, but I was also drinking coffee, which is a dehydrating beverage. So I was severely dehydrated.
Did you know that at the time?
No. But looking back, I realized, yeah. And my intestines stopped up at the point where I had the appendix removed when I was 7 years old.
And you are now?
74 in 2 weeks.
Right.
So the anniversary of that event was it's approaching. It was Easter time.
Yes.
And what we had discovered with our research is that very often infections you had as a child and that were supposedly cured are still in the body. And when you get weak or dehydrated, they are attacking. And I think this virus that caused the appendix to be inflamed was still in my intestines and grew over 67 years. But I'd always been very careful to drink enough fluid, to have enough vegetables, and make sure that I clear my intestines. Somehow or other, I wasn't doing the job. And there I was, totally clogged up.
You were unable to get any food through your gut at all?
Yeah.
Completely. I mean, it was stopped.
Yeah, so I couldn't hold any food and started regurgitating and hiccuping and finally just vomiting violently. It was very painful, and I didn't sleep. I was just vomiting all night. That was the February 3rd, and I don't know what we did. Did we zap right away?
When you got up in the morning, the first thing I did was some energy work. All I could see was your body screaming incoherently. I couldn't make any sense of it. I set you down and I did some energy work and cleared some stuff. And then both of us began to make sense of it. You were the one who told me this was located at the place of where the appendix had been removed. And I immediately set you up with a frequency session.
Mm-hmm.
And after the frequency session, if I remember it, you were able to drink small amounts of water. That meant that a little bit of clearing was taking place.
Yeah.
And after that, you simply had to be careful, and if you weren't careful, blap, got kept.
Yeah, and I couldn't really eat for days. I mean, I didn't eat for 10 days.
About then.
Yeah.
I don't recommend this as a way of losing weight, but she lost 12 pounds in a month. She fits her wedding dress now, by the way. Elly, how are you feeling?
I still feel somewhat weak, but I have started exercising again. I go to curves, and in the beginning I just did a few of the stations, and I'm now back to doing 2 rounds. And by next week I'll be doing 3 rounds, and that's really how I got my energy back. just exercising. And but I'm still napping a lot. I nap after every exertion, and my body has to recover. And I'm very careful with what I eat, and I eat small portions.
Right. I think that there's a couple comments. First of all, for us, the first thing to do was the energy work so that we could make sense of what was going on. Second was frequencies. But we now, I've mentioned symbols, and I've done a lecture on that. We've discovered that the frequencies seem to work best if you're able to actually look at the symbols while you are getting the frequencies. The session seems to move much faster and to be more effective. So you were doing that during this session, right?
No.
No?
No.
Was that? Oh, it's after that we learned this. Okay, because that session took you basically 8-9 hours.
Yes.
I mean, it was a long day of work sitting there in front of that computer getting those frequencies. And since then we've had some powerful sessions, but none of them have lasted more than 4 hours because we're combining the frequencies and the symbols. It's very powerful. Is there anything else to say in summary? One thing that's worth saying is, apparently for her, while removing the appendix saved the life of this 7-year-old girl, now it's beginning to look as a postponed death sentence.
Yeah.
It's only now that it's been cured.
Yeah. Right.
Are you satisfied, or is there anything else you need to say?
I would suggest to people that they stop drinking coffee because it's very dehydrating. If you love coffee, for every cup of coffee, please drink water.
Good advice. Thanks for coming. We'll look for you again. Bye now.
Bye. It's great.